Congress is back in session today, and they have a big task ahead. That's where we're starting the 7 from the Washington Post. I'm Hannah Jewell. It's Tuesday, September 2nd. Let's get you caught up with today's 7 stories. Members of Congress are back in Washington after their summer recess. But whether or not they had a relaxing August, they'll have to buckle down right away. The House and Senate have around 4 weeks to pass spending legislation to fund the government. Otherwise, at the end of the day on September 30th, the federal government will shut down. To avoid that, Republicans will need to find Democratic votes in the Senate. It's unclear whether or how they will pull that off, even if only to pass a short-term funding extension. And that's not the only drama that Congress will be dealing with. Lawmakers will also continue their efforts to force the release of files related to the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. That issue has caused a rift among Republicans and trouble for President Donald Trump that just won't go away. Number 2. Nationwide Labor Day protests denounced the influence of billionaires over President Trump. Yesterday, crowds gathered in cities including Chicago, San Diego, and Washington, D.C. They were protesting what they see as the undue power of America's business tycoons and corporations over the Trump administration. May Day Strong is a coalition of labor and advocacy groups. They organized more than 1,000 events in more than 900 cities. The event was called Workers Over Billionaires. In Chicago, threats by the Trump administration to deploy troops to the city loomed over the protests. Democratic Mayor Brandon Johnson spoke to the crowds.
No federal troops in the city of Chicago. No militarized force in the city of Chicago. We're going to defend our democracy in the city of Chicago.
Asked for comment on the protests, White House spokesperson Taylor Rogers said that Republicans were, quote, the proud party of the American worker. Number 3. A leading group of scholars said that Israel is committing genocide in Gaza. The International Association of Genocide Scholars has around 500 members. On Sunday, they overwhelmingly passed a resolution that said Israel's actions in Gaza meet the legal definition of genocide. Genocide is defined as acts intended to destroy in whole or in part a national, ethnic, racial, or religious group. Timothy Williams is a leading member of the association. Yesterday, speaking to Al Jazeera, he delved deeper into how genocide is defined.
The destruction of arable land, food warehouses and bakeries, which hinders the production of food, and also a restriction of humanitarian aid, which means you don't need to just shoot someone for it to constitute genocide. Also depriving them of the conditions to have life also constitutes genocide.
A spokesperson for Israel said the group's resolution was disgraceful. But the scholars join a growing chorus of experts and organizations who have concluded that Israel is committing a genocide. Number 4. Students in some states will have mandatory gun safety training this year. As students return to school in Tennessee, a new state law requires them to learn about firearm safety. That includes kindergarteners. So Tennessee's 5-year-olds will learn to identify a trigger, a barrel, and a muzzle. Themes for all ages include safe firearm storage, school safety, and injury prevention. This is an unprecedented approach to curbing injuries from guns. According to the CDC, guns are the leading cause of death in adolescents and children. Gun safety classes have been part of some school curriculums for decades, but Tennessee, Arkansas, and Utah are the first to mandate lessons statewide. Tennessee lawmakers have resisted efforts to regulate guns even after a school shooting that killed 6 people in 2023. Cement manufacturers want to go green, but the Trump administration is blocking them. That's our 5th story. Cement is the world's favorite building material. It's also a major source of planet-warming emissions. So a global race is on to find less polluting ways of making it. A plant in Indiana was supposed to become a model for the world, and a place where the U.S. could take the lead in cutting carbon dioxide emissions from cement manufacturing. But then the Trump administration canceled a $500 million grant for machinery to trap and bury the plant's greenhouse gas. That has left the area's staunchly Republican community stunned. Cuts like these threaten America's role in the global race to create lower carbon cement. The Trump administration has repeatedly claimed that global warming is an exaggerated problem, even as the evidence of its dangers increase with each passing year. Number 6. Microplastics triggered Alzheimer's-like symptoms in mice in a new study. Microplastics are tiny fragments of plastic that have been found throughout the environment and the human body, including the brain. It's not known exactly what effect they have on our bodies, but a study last month revealed a worrying finding in mice. Mice that were genetically modified to be predisposed to Alzheimer's showed symptoms of the disease after just a few weeks of exposure to microplastics. And though what is true for mice is not necessarily true for us, the mice's symptoms presented similarly to how they do in humans. I don't want to completely ruin your day with this information, so allow me to share some quick tips from an expert to limit plastics in your life. Here they are. Avoid packaged and ultra-processed foods. Avoid plastic water bottles. And above all, don't put plastic in the microwave. And at number 7, a man apologized after snatching a tennis player's hat from a boy at the U.S. Open. Last week, Poland's Kamil Majchrzak defeated 9th-seeded Karen Khachanov in his second-round match in New York. After his victory, Majchrzak approached fans to sign autographs. He also offered his hat in the direction of a young boy, but as he held it out, a grown man grabbed it. The boy was seen objecting and trying to get the attention of Majchrzak, but the tennis player had moved on to other fans. After clips of the incident went viral, the man was identified as Polish businessman Piotr Szczerek. He was subjected to withering criticism online, and his company received a slew of 1-star ratings. So yesterday, he apologized for what he called his extremely poor judgment and hurtful actions. So let that be a lesson to all prospective hat snatchers. All right, you're all caught up. But before you go, friend of the 7, Christina Quinn, needs your help. She's the host of Try This, a show that aims to give us tips for challenges we all face. For the show's next audio course, Christina is looking into brain health and how we can keep our minds sharp as we age. Maybe you want to know if forgetting where you put your glasses or keys all the time is normal, or you just want tips to improve your memory for trivia. Or maybe you want to learn more about your family history of dementia. Whatever your burning questions about the aging brain might be, send an email or voice memo to trythis@washpost.com. That's trythis@washpost.com. Try This might feature your question in their next series and get you an expert answer. I'm Hannah Jewell. I'll meet you back here tomorrow.